Hey, what's up? How's it going? I'm Eric Casey.
I'm Andy.
Way to introduce yourself.
Thanks.
Don't mention it.
I did my best.
Well, we are on Gaming Circle right now. We just watched the Microsoft press conference at E3. It was pretty amazing. I thought
It was all right. There were low
really
notes.
good.
There were high notes. It wasn't the best.
It
wasn't. I don't think.
it was the best for Microsoft in a long time.
Oh, for
I
Microsoft,
thought.
yeah. That's like
In
almost
the last
no
couple
contest.
of years, it was
Yeah.
definitely the best.
As soon as they said backwards compatibility, it won that. That was at the very beginning.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
it's not like they had to try very hard.
Yeah, So yeah, just starting it off, backwards compatibility for the Xbox One.
Probably the most important thing they said the whole time.
And
Actually,
they even did a jab at Sony with
yeah. And it's free. Oh man,
we don't have to make you pay for it.
what a low blow.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think that's PlayStation now is pretty cool, but it sucks that you have to pay for it. It's really dumb, the pricing. Sony still hasn't worked out the fucking pricing for that. It's really fucking stupid.
I don't think they're going to make it free though, and that's all that really matters, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't want to buy the game a second
owner.
fucking time.
Yeah, I agree with that. Backwards compatibility, I wish would come to the PlayStation. Please, Sony, please. But anyway, besides backwards compatibility, they went into Halo. Halo looked pretty cool, of course.
Yeah, Halo 5 Guardians looks pretty alright.
Yeah.
I haven't played the Halo series in a while, so I don't know where the story is necessarily, but it looks like a good like Republic Commando kind of gameplay with all the squad tactics.
Let's hope the multiplayer works.
Yeah, I hope it's half as good as the Republic Commando game.
I'm
sad.
a PlayStation owner. I played Halo with a couple of my friends. I had ODST for a little while, and I played 3. I didn't play 4, and so I am a Halo fan. I do like the series. I just don't have an Xbox to play it on. So,
Yeah.
Oh well. And then after Halo, I believe was the backwards compatibility announcement, and then good old EA came out.
It was great. It was like he could tell nobody likes him, and there's all these applause breaks where they're just quiet. It was the funniest goddamn thing.
Yeah, I even mentioned.
I
it
know
to him
you're all
during the
waiting
conference.
really patiently for Madden, and then nobody makes a sound. It was amazing. Madden 16, guys. No, really.
No, it's awesome. Trust me on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, Microsoft came out on a high note, and then when EA showed up, it went...
Yeah, just dropped all your expectations and then
Yeah.
built it slowly back up with the rest of the...
EA was clearly the worst part of the conference, in my opinion. They were going so good, and then EA had to come out with their sports, and EA Access with their whopping 12 games.
Yeah, 12 games. That's worth a subscription.
I think $30 a year or something like that.
I don't even care if it's any dollars. It's not worth it.
12 games? That's it, EA? That's all you got? I mean,
to be fair, they're adding Dragon Age, and they're adding... What was the other one they were adding?
Mass Effect?
No, it wasn't
No,
Mass
it wasn't
Effect.
Mass Effect.
This is good.
Dragon.
They said Dragon Age.
Dragon
and
Age.
Titanfall. Titanfall's getting
right,
added.
Yeah.
Titanfall was pretty fun for the first couple weeks
But
that I had
people already
it. So.
own the game. I mean, where's the value in it? I think
It's so you don't have to like buy the game now because it's been out for a while. It's like, oh,
But
you
who
do the
did-
subscription, and when you play the soccer games that nobody
But apparently,
plays,
Titanfall did good and Dragon Age did good. I assume that people did buy those games.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, it's more like an ancillary kind of like side thought. Like now you also have this with our program. It's not so much the point.
I guess
you're paying like $30 a year, how much
for,
it is
for a whopping 12 games. Like I thought EA Access has more than just 12 games, which I was kind of.
Yeah, it was really disappointing.
If that's like literally the whole, because again, PlayStation owner, I don't have EA Access. If it's a whopping 12 games on EA Access and the thing's been out for like a good year or two now, it's not worth the money.
Yeah,
right
when they
now.
was talking about the EA Access, it seemed almost worth it. It's like all 12 games.
All 12 games.
And it was like, really? Womp,
That's it?
womp. That's all you get. 12 games for
Oh.
a subscription.
Microsoft, word to the just some helpful tips for the future. Don't have EA in your conference anymore.
I think
just let them do their own thing, okay?
I think EA at this point, it's like that weird X right? That you have that like you don't want to be around, but you have the same friends group,
But
so
they're
they
not
show up
X.
a lot. You know.
But that's the thing. It's not weird. They're not a weird X.
No, they kind of are
They're
because
kinda
no one
in
likes
bed
them,
with one
and
another.
everything's all really weird.
I wouldn't say
no,
that.
exactly, and they still bang because Xbox just can't get any anymore.
Well, that's one way of putting it.
Enough about my social life.
Well, they did have it. Well, EA did have a big announcement: Plants vs Zombies 2.
Is it even still a tower defense game? I'm confused by the trailer. It was just a bunch of green dudes that aren't zombies.
I didn't play the first one. I wasn't.
Aren't.
That game isn't my type of game.
Yeah.
I'm not really into that kind of game.
And the guy was so excited when he talked about the goddamn
Plants vs. Zombies.
Like he's like, oh, this is what EA is here to do. It's such a creative game. I'm like, it was a Flash game.
And I think the original had like bad microtransactions anyway. So
Yeah,
I guess
I
he's
think
probably
it did.
getting all giddy for more microtransactions.
Dear God,
I
could
guess.
stop.
So after EA almost ruined Microsoft's press conference,
Really took the wind out of their sails.
yeah. But the Gus came back in the form of Fallout 4 and
Oh yeah, no, it was really
Mr.
one
Howard
of the better ways
making
to
a
follow that
return
up.
and actually showing a little bit more gameplay than what we saw yesterday, which
Oh,
was
yeah.
pretty cool. We saw the power armor in action.
The power armor in action
Looks
is sick.
fucking awesome.
It's not what it was, so I'm a little bit cautious about actually like being genuinely excited for this game because it looks like the power armor is just an item that you bring around. Like in the other game, it's you carry around the item, but
Yeah.
it's like a thing that you put down and get into, but you can't like put it in your Pip-Boy. It looks like almost like you don't equip it. It equips you and you run around with it. It's kind of it's like almost an alternate game mode. Which
Yeah,
I'm not a
that's
big
what it
fan
seems
of
like to me too.
personally.
Yeah.
It's almost like you have your power armor
But it carries
set
a lot of weight, though. I mean,
yeah. Well,
You
literally,
know.
yeah, but like it does all these things, but I feel like it's like you have your power armor set at all of your settlements that they talked about in the other conference, right? Like you'd have different power armor stations. And then, like, when you need it, you'd get into it and then walk around in it, and you'd have, like, your regular armor on under it.
Yeah.
But in the other games, it was just an item to be worn that you needed training to do, actually. So I'm a little bit upset because it seems like you're just going to skip that. But I guess...
Well, we'll see.
Well,
We'll see.
it looks like
I don't think they're gonna give you all that stuff right away.
Yeah, no, I mean they might
You know.
because it looks like it almost does with because it's like it goes straight
I
from
don't
laser
think
muskets
so.
to I have an idea, and then you pick up this minigun.
Well,
and
I think that was for demo purposes, though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
I
but
think
it looks
you have
like-
to go through the game in order
Yeah.
to find all that stuff. I mean,
But I
you
think
can build
in
your
the
own
other
community.
yeah, but in the other games it was like you had to learn how to wear it because it's like way too
Yeah,
heavy
of course.
and stuff like that. But this thing looks like it wears itself like it's a freestanding piece of equipment that you just kind of control.
I think they're gonna bring it back.
It's a lot more like
I think you're gonna.
it's
have
like
to
it's
try
like the end of
again.
Aliens, like the big it's like it looks more like the big construction equipment than an actual
It kind of reminded
suit of
me.
armor.
It kind of reminded me of the Jet Trooper in the original.
Oh yeah,
Battlefront.
it has a jetpack.
It's literally that. Yeah.
There's a jetpack. You could fall from what seems like any height. You rip miniguns off.
Rip
You rip
miniguns
a minigun off a
helicopters.
stand. I'm
Yeah.
sure that doesn't happen more than once. Unfortunately, it makes it seem like Fallout's turning into more of a shooter game, which isn't, in my opinion, the best direction for them to be going with it.
Why is that?
I like it better as like Fallout 1 and 2 and then 3 to an extent was more about an exploration game.
Yeah.
And the guns were a necessity because you got shot at. It wasn't really the point of the game. Like, you didn't pick up different guns. Like, this is why I'm here. Like, sure, there's hilarious weapons like
Just everyone has
Fisto
their
and
own
like
kind of weapon.
yeah, there's like Fisto and the rocket launcher and stuff like that. Like, they were funny. And they're good to have, and some of them were even really good. Like Lincoln's Repeater comes to mind immediately, but like you get all these good named weapons, but it's not really necessarily the point of the game, or at least in my opinion. And now with these new gameplay videos, it looks like the point of the game is just to shoot the mole rats. The mole rats specifically kind of bothered me when I was looking at them because they didn't look right. Like they seemed too small almost. Like, mole rats are supposed to be, like, these big kind of, like, you're kind of sorry for looking at them because they just seem like they're constantly, like, I don't want to use the word suffering, but really they do because radiation is bad. But now these mole rats look like they're just strange, almost fantasy creatures. And it's just not...
I mean, it's
what
hard.
I wanted it to be.
We saw a very limited amount, I'd say, though.
Yeah,
I mean, even Howard said that there's more to it.
Yeah.
Like maybe there's maybe they added to it where like later in the game you may come across like a giant mole rat or something like that.
Yeah, I know.
The
It's
mutations
just
may have increased.
they're changing some character models, and there were super mutants wearing power armor, which I think is worth mentioning.
Were they?
Yeah,
I
they
think I
definitely
missed
were.
that.
There's a lot of people wearing different power armor. So, I mean, I know it's
That'll
in
be
Boston, which
interesting.
means that they're around the Commonwealth, so there should definitely be a lot of Brotherhood of Steel stuff and a lot of robotics. So
Yeah.
it makes
More
sense for it to
technological
be
stuff,
there. Yeah, it's a lot more technologically
Advanced.
advanced as compared to the rest
others.
of the wastelands.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't like the feeling of the new power armor as it stands currently. As it stands on its freestanding piece of equipment, I feel like it's a thing that like I said, you just get into and then you stomp around the game a little bit.
Mm-hmm. But apparently Fallout does have some kind of exclusive content with Microsoft.
Oh no, it was the mods.
That's
You
right.
could mod,
yeah.
you could mod
Right,
Fallout
right.
4 with PC mods.
Yeah, you could
through
do
the
it on your
Xbox.
console.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
That's
they
right,
added.
good
That
call.
was it's
Yep.
exclusive. It's just because
Which is kind of cool though.
it's only
That's
because
kinda
Windows,
cool.
but yeah.
But it's kind of cool with the console.
Oh no, it's definitely a welcome addition to console
I
gaming.
wonder if
think.
that's going to be like a future thing
Yeah.
where later in this generation, I wonder if mods are going to be like maybe they develop like some of the like I think
I don't know. It seems like just Microsoft in general just wants to push
PC
Xbox into the PC direction.
Yeah,
Like it doesn't seem like they're trying to take over PC as much as they're
Trying to be
looking
a
at
part of
things
it.
that PC's been doing and they're saying that's a good idea. We should do that.
yeah.
That's I
Which
think
is
the right way to go.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's a good
'Cause-
way of doing it
Well,
too.
later in the conference, they're talking about Oculus is going to work with Xbox
Mm-hmm.
and what
Which
are the
looks
PC
freaking
stuff?
awesome.
They announced it's more of a side note that they put out there's a new controller.
Yes,
It's fully modifiable. It's comparable,
Yeah, it's
I think, to
customizable.
it's like the Rat 11 or whatever
Something
it is
like
now,
that,
like
yeah.
that special fancy mouse that you can like
Manipulate
adjust.
and
Yeah. There's a new controller. It's got all these new buttons you can add, and you can
Mhm.
change the joysticks and D-pad and
Yeah,
everything.
you
looks
can
pretty
plug
good.
it in and charge it. It's
Yeah.
got a headphone jack now,
Yeah,
which I believe the original didn't.
yeah, but this used to be something only for third-party controllers, which everybody remembers those being terrible. I don't remember having a single good experience with anything that says Mad Cats on it. That was Player 4 controller, not even Player 2. Like
Oh my!
I didn't wish that upon anybody. And yeah, it's really hard to find good customizable experiences outside of PC
Yeah.
now. And it looks like consoles are taking
I'm
that.
trying to go that
turn there.
route, and
Yeah.
I hope that's the case.
Yeah.
I would love that kind of integration with the consoles.
Yeah,
Because the consoles have always been behind PC, and I think they should catch up a little.
yeah.
Because PC does do a lot of stuff that the consoles could benefit from.
Yeah. PC's definitely going in the right direction.
Another
first,
thing
I
with
think.
that too, the thing that they were kind of pretending it was Steam Greenlight.
Oh yeah, they have
That-
an early access thing that
Yeah.
I should be wary
I,
of.
I forgot. Yeah, be
Yeah.
very wary of it. If it's
As-
anything like early access,
If it's like Steam early access, you're gonna end up paying for a game before it comes out and it may never
Yeah.
get released. But
which in a console sense, that would be really cool.
no, in
You
a
know?
console sense, it's a horrible thing. It's just as
I-
bad as it is on PC. Because like if I paid $40 for an early access game, right?
Yeah.
And it still isn't out, and I paid for it 2 years ago, then there's almost no reason for them to actually release this game because
Well,
they already
that's
have the
thing.
money.
Well, the thing is with Steam, I think they don't really regulate it. To my knowledge,
Steam
they
doesn't
don't
regulate- no.
regulate it very well.
What I think,
I think the consoles will regulate it.
no, what I
better.
think Microsoft's actually how they're fixing it is with
Mm-hmm.
they're doing that whole you can play the game for 10 days or however long it was or like
yeah,
a week.
something like that.
Like a week to 10 days, you get a free demo
Yeah,
of
it's
whatever game you're considering paying for early, and then you buy the early access.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's a step in the right direction, I think, because there's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of I know because I'm a Steam player. There's a couple early access games that I put money into, and then played for like 4 days, and went, oh, I'll just wait for it to come out, and it's just never going to
hasn't
come
come
out because
out.
they already have my money. They don't care. They already,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't want to act like every indie developer on early access is like super like pessimistic or whatever. Like there's like, oh, we already
Yeah.
have all their money. Why even make a game? But to an extent, like why even make the game if they already made all the
Yeah,
money off early
yeah.
access? So
Yeah, I've heard stories from some of the game
Yeah.
critics that I watch.
what I would have
talk
liked
about
to have seen
great-
from Microsoft
access.
instead of early access
Mhm.
was instead of early access, I would rather see like a green light where like indie developers could put their ideas like like in Steam, they
Like
put their
like a
ideas to
small
the
demo?
community and say, hey, we want to make this, and if enough people vote for that game to be made into actual game, I think Microsoft could like
Ooh.
fund them or something. I know Steam does
Ooh.
that.
That'd
Greenlight's
be
a
really
good
cool,
idea.
actually.
Yeah, they add things to the marketplace like that.
That's
Well, I mean, that's how you get things out of early access, and then they take my
Mhm.
money, and then I'm still waiting for
that
Colonial
would
Marines.
be
What's it?
kind of
Interstellar
interesting.
Marines.
That would be kind of interesting, and that'd be nice exposure for the indies. I think that's pretty cool.
Oh no, they're already getting tons of exposure. The fucking
No, I'm just saying, but
Yeah.
in that process, though, like that would probably motivate Microsoft to look for even more indies, and even more would come on. You
yeah,
know?
no, that's the thing.
I
Though.
think
If you
that-
had a program like
yeah.
that, you don't look for the indies; they come to you.
Yeah.
So if I'm not an indie developer, so I don't know if this is easier or harder. But if someone wants to make a game for like the PC and they want to port it
kinda like
over
a-
to the
it's kinda
Xbox,
like
they would put it through the
It's kind of
greenlight
like making a
process
pitch
first.
for a video game.
That's
concept.
exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's like taking a big survey. Would you buy this game? And if enough people
And
say
you try
yes,
it out and
it
enough
gets
people like
funded.
it,
It gets
yeah.
added to the marketplace, and the deals are made.
That
So-
would be really cool.
That's what I wanted. That's what I thought was
Do that,
coming. It didn't
Microsoft.
happen.
Heard it here first.
What? No, it came from Steam, yo.
Or Steam.
Straight out of Valve.
Or Valve, yeah.
No, but it seems like Microsoft's really heading in the right direction on these things.
They
In my
turned it
opinion.
around.
Yeah.
Besides EA, they've turned it around.
Ever since they dropped the Kinect, they've turned a new cheek, and things have been going
Which
better.
Speaking
Better.
of the Kinect, it's like no freaking wonder they dropped the Kinect. They're gonna replace it with the Oculus.
I'm almost excited for the Oculus. I think it might be dangerous a little bit.
Yeah,
Like I'm gonna forget to eat if I'm eating in Fallout. Wearing the Oculus, like, oh god, what day is it? Like, I'm hungry. Why? I'm hitting corn. It's not feeding me. Oh wait.
Well, for me, like I feel like it's gonna be a gimmick. Like what they showed during the conference with the Oculus was pretty mind blowing. Like I was really impressed with what they showed. It was incredible.
Oh yeah, no, that wasn't the Oculus. That was what do they call that? It's
It-
like
it
a
was-
half 3D. It's
Oh,
not the
the-
full immersion. It's
the Orpheus.
no.
The HoloLens.
Yeah, the HoloLens. That was
HoloLens,
it.
yeah.
That
Which-
looked weird.
Like it was mind blowing, but I don't know if it was good mind blowing or bad mind blowing.
It looked really Disney to me.
Yeah.
Like it
And-
was very much like
And I even mentioned it to you during the playthrough with that. Like, just imagine a 5-year-old having that.
yeah, a 5-year-old having that would be.
I mean, their parents are
seems
gonna be
it'd
like, it's gonna be Sword Art Online.
No, it would be detrimental. Well, I mean, we don't talk about that.
Well,
but
true, but
like,
the point still stands.
It sounds like it'd be really detrimental to maybe. I wonder how it
Yeah.
would affect just child development as someone who's not even remotely a
Yeah.
psychologist.
yeah,
I wonder how
would
that
find
would work out because it could promote imagination because they're seeing something that
Yeah,
not necessarily there and
definitely.
they're building with it. And at least in the sense that they use Minecraft as their example, and it
yeah,
was it looked
definitely,
sick.
definitely.
Don't get me wrong,
It did,
but it might make.
but
I don't know.
Like,
I know
all those-
5-year-old me would have a horrible time keeping
Yeah.
a grip on reality after
yes,
playing something
exactly.
like that.
Same here. I will
Shit
even
would be
admit that.
weird real fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I even talked about it, like I talked about in the video about Bethesda because a lot of people, Anita Sarkeesian and a lot of those people were talking about how Doom and Fallout looks so violent and everything, and
It's violent. Doom is violent.
no, but
What?
listen,
Not a game called Doom.
where you're in hell and fighting demons.
Yeah. that can't-
Anyway.
Violence is wrong.
But I mentioned in that video that one of the cool things about like video games or like anime and films and all that is that it allows you to explore these like different realities and such from like a different perspective in reality, where it kind of creates its own rules and its own alternate reality, but not really being reality, you know. And I think that's kind of cool. That's what I find fun about video games, that it explores those ideas that you really wouldn't do in real life, but you can in a video game.
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
like-
real and
yeah.
everything, you know. So, but I don't know. I feel like virtual reality, like the HoloLens, is maybe taking it too far.
I don't know. HoloLens, I don't think is gonna work for everything super well. Like, even
Yeah.
if they make the program actually function for every game, like
Yeah.
I don't think Fallout would be played very well through the HoloLens because
I would agree.
it's a game you have to get like really into. That's what the Oculus is there for.
Right.
I assume
The
because
Oculus
we haven't
would be-
played it.
the
Please
Oc-
send us free Oculus, and I will tell you everything about it
Yeah.
that I am not contractually obligated not to talk about. I suppose if there is such a
Yeah.
contract, I would love so to just sign it, play it.
You shamelessly
Pet
plugging, you son of a bitch.
Love it.
We only have 8 subscribers. I mean, come on.
All 8 of them can get together and buy me an Oculus. Put it on Kickstarter.
Put it on Kickstarter.
Yeah. I'll raise $60 or however much it is. It's probably a lot more than that.
It's going to be a lot more than that. Last I heard, on Game Face, they were talking about, I think it was like, they were saying like maybe $500 or $600.
Well, that's a dream of mine that
Crazy.
just went down the tubes. That's
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Well, I don't know. It was just speculation. That's all I heard. But
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be worth it. But I got to say, based on what we saw, it's an interesting technology. And I'm kind of curious about it. Even if it's a nice little gimmick that you put on your face, I may want to check it out. But we'll see.
I don't want to be one of those people. It's like Oculus is the future of gaming, but I feel like it's something. If it were affordable, I would definitely try it at least.
It definitely looks
seems like it'd be
interesting,
fun.
but let's hold the brakes on it being the future of gaming.
Yeah, I certainly hope it's not the future of gaming. Yeah, that's how you get.
I still prefer having the controller.
It's really easy to
hand
lose
and
track of
everything.
time when you can glance over at a clock, and then when you can't, you
It's
just take
already
away all the outside world.
You already lose track of time even with the controller in your hand.
Yeah,
Even
no,
without
that's
the whole,
that's what I'm talking
gimmick.
about. Like I'm playing a controller and with a controller, and I'm staring at a screen.
Yeah.
And like I have a clock like over there. I can glance at it and be like, oh shit, has it been 10 hours?
10 hours. Yeah.
If I'm playing the Oculus, I have no idea. I'm going by the game's day cycle, which is usually short.
Yeah.
So, like, everything would get
it'd
weird.
be
You forget to
crazy.
eat for a couple days. I'd lose 10 pounds. I'd be probably good. I should get the Oculus.
You probably gain 10 pounds
If you don't
get
eat.
that.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's true. If you don't eat, that is a good point.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, let's go back into the games that they talked about. Where we left off, Rainbow Six Siege, The Division. Ubisoft jumped in after EA did their little. Cars happened before
Cars
Ubisoft.
happened. We're not very interested in cars. Sorry.
That was
you're
part of the.
interested in cars. Yeah.
We're not big fans of cars.
It looks like
Car
a good
games.
racing game.
The graphics look great.
They hit tires and the tires went everywhere.
It
the last
didn't
time I played a
bounce off
racing
the
game was
wall.
like 10 years ago. So like
Yeah.
they just bounce off the fake tire walls, and I was like, it looked better.
Yeah, not
The
a
graphics look nice. They're
not
very
big
good
speed-
graphics, but
not
much
big
of
car
a
guys here.
Need for Speed guy.
But after that, The Division jumped in with Ubisoft and Rainbow Six, which looked like 2 very similar games made by the same guys over
they
at Tom
seem
Clancy.
different to me. Like
Well,
different enough.
The Division seems like to me like multiplayer in New York City, and The Division Rainbow Six looks like another Call of Duty.
Yeah,
clone.
I was confused as to what the Division is trying to be.
Yeah, I agree.
They said MMO, right? And
some
it's just you and I assume your friends like dropped in New York City.
Yeah,
And it's weird, pseudo post-apocalyptic, and there's just
in the city,
bad guys running around with Bane masks.
which
and
I think
guess,
are other players. that
they
you
might
could
be,
play
they might
as.
not be, but I don't see how it's very interesting if all you do is run around and shoot.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. I even mentioned that to you while I was watching it. Like,
Yeah.
because I saw the original E3 release and it looked interesting then, but this year they showed pretty much the same thing. They just showed a different part of the city.
Yeah.
I mean, if you ask me, I could see if that's just the gameplay where it's just strictly multiplayer and you're just fighting other players online. I could see that getting really boring real quick.
And was it just me, or was it really hard to understand the French guy? Like his accent was pretty strong. I had a hard time.
It's Ubisoft.
I know it's Ubisoft, but that's not like that's not a very good excuse.
They're kind of known for that.
Learn good American. But yeah,
Yeah.
Tom Clancy games, they seem to be pretty standard Tom Clancy games.
Tom Clancy game. Yeah.
Run around, shoot the things, pretend to be tactical, stuff like that. They're all tactical in the trailers, and then you watch it and you know it's not going to be nearly as tactical.
Yeah.
Use the sledgehammer. No, it's going to be I'm going to equip the sledgehammer. I'm going to
And
run square at the wall.
And also, I wonder, like, literally how big the maps are too. Like,
Yeah.
I'm assuming, yeah, you can go around the whole city, but I'm wondering, one thing that get overlooked, in my opinion, during these types of games is, are you able to like kind of use the environment to your advantage? Like, can you go into buildings and kind of snipe people from the buildings?
I'd
and all?
imagine. I mean,
But
they
haven't shown that yet.
You shouldn't
It's
have
all
to show
outside.
that, I don't think.
All they've shown is outside and
They showed like in a house with like a
in
refrigerator or something, like someone's apartment. I don't know.
No, wasn't that? I think that was Rainbow Six.
No, that was the.
Was it
That's
Division?
when they're like everybody said it was gonna come to this, and they're talking about like apocalypse horseshit. but
It was
that was
Division
the
then?
Division. Yeah.
Okay, then
I
I
don't
guess
know.
there is that.
You're not wrong in saying it wasn't very specific in what exactly he's trying
it
to
was
accomplish.
very-
It just looked like the trailer looked like a generic shooter game.
It didn't.
Honestly.
Yeah, it didn't.
It didn't get
show
across that
anything
it was
new.
an MMO.
It definitely didn't show anything new from last year.
Yeah, absolutely not.
It sounded like they were trying to tell a
Yeah.
story, but
Like what in an MMO you should not really, in my opinion, really try for
Yeah.
stories too hard because there's so many different players
Right,
and everybody's
of
character
course.
is the main character.
like I
So-
said, I think that could get boring if that's all you're doing is just going around shooting people.
Yeah,
I think there should be
I
more
don't-
to it than just that.
Is there like a crafting system or like are there quests? I don't understand what the point is. Like it's
I'm not sure.
exactly they didn't.
They
mention
haven't
it.
explained.
They haven't explained
anything.
shit. That's it. It was just. Oh, it's worth mentioning. They said Rainbow Six has destructible environments, which is nice.
Oh,
I always
just
like
like-
to see that.
just like in Division, yeah.
Yeah. You shoot through the
Division has
walls.
that
You
too.
blow
They
up the
showed that
walls.
last
You
year.
hit the walls with sledgehammers. Apparently,
Well, that's Ubisoft for you.
Ubisoft and
As you know.
the impression was I wanted more.
Yeah,
But not the
we
good
want more
kind.
to be explained, but
Yeah.
of course Ubisoft
It
didn't show
left
that
me
much.
wanting.
Yeah.
But
It-
not their game.
Yeah, because we didn't know much about it.
Yeah. What came after Ubisoft?
Indies, the
Oh,
indie
yeah, the
developers.
indies.
A couple indies came on.
This is what
Asher,
We're talking about this
Beyond
before.
Eyes,
Yeah.
and Cuphead. They showed a Cuphead. I think Cuphead was the
Cuphead
one
looks
that
like it's the
stuck-
strongest of all the indie games that
Yes,
were there.
Cuphead looks fucking awesome. I
Dude.
wish I could play that game.
I don't know. It's not. I'm not usually. I'm not really into platformers personally, but it looks like it was the strongest contender.
I love the style though. I love that.
Oh no, the style. It was really.
classic-
It was tons of fun to
classic
look
Looney
at.
Tunes
That's
style.
for sure.
Yeah.
That wasn't Looney Tunes. It was a
Yeah.
classic Mickey Mouse. It was like
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
Steamboat
yeah.
Pete, like
Mhm.
straight out of the 30s.
Or Popeye.
Yeah, or Popeye.
Even the bad guy from Popeye who looks like him.
Yeah.
I just love that old school style, and I'm really curious about it because of that style in the game, and it just looked really freaking awesome. I wish I
It's
could
really
play it.
good.
You should get an Xbox so I could play it.
I should get an Xbox One so you could play my Xbox One.
So, I mean, I got the PS4 covered.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I'm just gonna drop $400 for you, buddy.
Totally should.
Mm.
Just for that one indie game.
Yeah, just for the indie games. What other the indie games? There was but the guy that made DayZ, he's making a new game.
Yeah,
Whatever that was called.
Ion, I think it was
yeah.
called.
They didn't really go on about what it is. He just said it's like, I'm a fan of this, the way he's doing it. He's just building a universe, and he's letting the players take control of what happens in it.
Yeah.
The trailer had nothing to do with gameplay, almost nothing. I didn't really.
Yeah.
It was just the camera just kind of drifts past like a bunch of astronauts, and they all
basically
have different like,
floating
player
in
names
spa-
over their heads.
The
and
gameplay, you're floating in space.
Yeah,
It's
and-
literally Gravity, the video game.
It's just what you do is a big question mark. Is it going to
Yeah,
be like
they
EVE
didn't really
Online where you
explain
can
what
do
you
like
could
just be
actually
like
do.
anything, or is it going to be more like
You just float around in space the entire time.
yeah, you just float around in space the entire time, like space janitors
Space
floating
Janitors,
about.
the game.
trying not to get hit.
Gotta keep the ship clean.
Yeah. Trying to keep these strangely just very together asteroids off my ship.
You get the broom and just like, dink,
Yeah.
and then it floats away.
Yeah.
We're about to get hit by an asteroid. Dink.
Nope. Fixed it.
All done.
It looks
What's
interesting.
next?
It's a very early, it was just
It looked
announced that
like
it was
an-
happening, I think.
Yeah.
So I definitely didn't hear of it before today.
It's gotten me wanting more.
Yeah,
so
that's
that's a positive.
that's something we're gonna keep an eye on for at least a bit.
Definitely.
Keep an eye on
is.
it. Eye on.
Let's.
I'm ashamed of myself personally.
We just lost a subscriber. Good job.
2. I felt the second one.
Anyway, so after the indies did their whole thing, which looked awesome.
The ID program, I think they called it.
The ID program.
That was the indies.
Yeah.
Independent developers.
Yep. The indies had their thing, and then after that, they went into Rise of the Tomb Raider,
Yep.
which
It looks solid. There's gonna be another Tomb Raider. You know, there's gonna be another Tomb Raider announcement later anyway.
yeah,
So
they always have like a
gotta wait for more on that first.
yeah. They
Um,
usually release like an arcade version of it to go along with the main one, but
Yeah.
I wasn't really like graphically. I wasn't all that impressed.
It didn't look graphically impressive, but it looks like they
Like-
kept the action going, at least for the gameplay
Yeah,
bit.
it
Like it
looked
looked like it was intense enough to keep your attention.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And-
I agree with that. The
yeah.
gameplay looked amazing. Don't get me wrong, but it felt like it felt. I don't want. I'm a little worried about saying this, but it looked downgraded. Like I felt like the original on the PlayStation 4 looked better than what they showed. I don't know if it was the stream or it's the Xbox One, but it like the I guess I'm like nitpicking the whole thing, but I noticed like with the mountain and everything, like the snow graphics look kind of cool and all, but like the mountain, it looked like low textures.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I didn't play the other game, so I couldn't help you with that.
Even in Gears of War 4 too, like the character models didn't look all that impressive either. They looked.
Wait, Gears of War 4? You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gears of 4.
So I'm thinking since the Gears of War character models look similar to Tomb Raider's character models, I'm assuming it may have been the stream, but I don't know. Like,
yeah, aren't you the one that's always talking about the graphics aren't the most important part anyway?
They're not.
Quit being such a hypocrite.
No, I'm not being a hypocrite.
You're being kind of a hypocrite. He's being a hypocrite.
Well, the thing is, I felt like the first Tomb Raider game, the graphics looked incredible.
Well, I didn't.
I'm just comparing.
I don't play the Tomb Raider series, so I can't really compare them.
True.
But as a game, what I saw looked at least good enough. You know.
Yeah.
It seems like
don't
something.
Don't get me wrong. I'm just bringing it up because I just felt like it graphically it didn't look as good as the original.
Yeah.
I just felt like maybe. It's a maybe. I don't know for sure. There's a lot of variables that may be going into that, like the stream or the Xbox itself. I don't know. The point is that it didn't look graphically all that.
My problem was that it wasn't a very like eventful like trailer. It was just.
It was a typical Tomb Raider.
Yeah,
trailer.
It was just typical. It's like, you know, hiking through the mountains. Oh no, like avalanche coming. Like, climbing the ice. That's typical. Ice falls. Climbing more ice.
Yeah, it's
ice
typical
falls.
Tomb Raider. And speaking of that,
Black guy dies.
Speaking of that too, fucking Thunderstorm. They had that in the first game too. Is this going to be like the same fucking plot as the first one?
It could be. I don't know. I didn't play it.
It's just on a mountain and there's snow now. That's the only difference you're adding. Instead of thunderstorm and rain on occasion, now it's snow.
I don't know.
Come on,
it seems
Enix.
like you're mad about a thing that we don't know enough about yet.
Yeah, true. But again,
let's move on.
That worries me.
I think.
Recore, there it is. Okay.
Goddamn.
Got it. Thank you, Sifted. Shout out to Sifted.com.
You're an asshole.
Yeah, I am. So I fucked up there because
Recore.
We forgot the name, and we found out that it's Recore. That is a game that really stood out during the Microsoft press conference.
Stood out a little bit. I wouldn't say really stood out. It
stood
a
out
little
enough
bit
for us to look for
like,
a good half an hour.
Yeah, it stood out enough
just
for
so we
you
could talk about it.
Try to get on the ball for half an hour. But it was like standing in the shadow of the bigger games.
It looked interesting.
It looks interesting, and it looks like it could go places, but I don't have like a ton of faith in it. You know,
yeah.
It seems like the kind of game that could be like one installment, or it could be a series, and it could go either way. So
it has potential, is what we're saying here. It looked interesting.
It might have potential. It was very vague as to what it is. It looks like you get.
I think it was just a teaser though, so you'll probably find out more if you keep your eye on it.
It looks like you get like these these circular. I guess they're called cores, and you can put them in little robots, and they work like hard drives for like their personalities or something.
Yeah, artificial intelligence.
Yeah, it's
I'd
like
say.
AI. I don't know. They're not very specific. But it looks interesting enough to keep an eye on. Also,
kind of like as a pet, an artificial intelligence pet
that turns into a gorilla.
That walks like a dog.
Mm.
He just looks
weird day. We had a weird day.
We did. So that was Recore. We talked about Tomb Raider, Rare Replay,
Dark Souls 3. Actually,
Dark Souls 3.
Mention
that's
that real
right.
quick.
It's the
same exact vibe as all the other Dark Souls games.
Yeah, it looks like Dark Souls.
Everything's kind of dark and gritty. Everything, gothic. That's it. Pretty much. That's all it was. They're making a whole bunch, just a one disc. I think they said it was like $30.
$30 for one disc for like these classic,
like a million of the classic games, like
Battletoads.
Cameo one. Battletoads is only on there. Battletoads is only on there. So when people call GameStop and say, "Hey, do you have Battletoads like in droves?" They'll be like, "Yes, we have it now." So
win.
Good job, Microsoft. Follow the memes. Retarded. There's Battletoads on it. I saw Cameo was on it. It was Conker's Bad Fur Day. Stuff like that. What were you saying?
One that you particularly liked, the one with pirates.
Yeah, and they're making an actual their own game. instead of
And
just
it's
taking
not-
all the
And
little
it's
games
not
in one disc.
Ubisoft and putting Assassin's Creed on it.
Yeah,
they're
it's an
making
actual
a legitimate pirate game.
Yeah, it's Sea of Thieves. It looks pretty good.
Looked pretty good.
You
Looked
take
for-
you take a
looked
pirate
really
ship.
good.
It looks like you take it to people's faces, and then you fight skeletons for treasure. I can't see where this could go wrong.
Pirates of the Caribbean, the game.
A little bit cartoony. It does
I
remind
liked
me
it,
of
though.
Pirates of the Caribbean. Did have an MMO for a very little bit.
Did it?
It did for a little bit, and I played it, and it was fun-ish. Like you get your own boat, and there was some cannons on it.
It wasn't the movie tie-in game.
No,
Something else.
it wasn't
I
like a
didn't
tying
play
into
that.
the movie. I don't remember. I think like in the beginning of the game you meet some of the characters, but otherwise
Okay.
you just schmuck around on a bunch of islands on
It-
boats, and it's
it-
fun. It's pirate combat,
yeah.
ship to ship is fun
Oh yeah.
generally.
That-
So
that's what that's what everyone talked about with Black Flag.
Yeah.
I mean, they
I mean,
love that.
all the non-enemies seem to have player names over their heads, so I don't know if
Yeah.
this is gonna be friendly AI. So it might be full cooperative.
It looked
But-
like it was cooperative.
Yeah,
I
it
didn't
looks,
see
but it looks like it's full cooperative.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
can't like get a crew. Like you get your friends together and you own a boat together, but otherwise
yeah.
you don't have like a staff that's just kind of
I
working
thought it
the
was
boat
kind of
for
funny
you.
that the music was kind of given because the music kind of replicated the Pirates of the Caribbean vibe.
It's piratey. That's the point.
I guess
It is the
thought I
vibe.
kinda ripped it off. Yeah,
Pirates.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just nitpicking.
But that looks exciting. That looks actually good. Like I
It
would buy
looked
that
really
game.
good, yeah.
I would buy that game as soon as I had money for it.
I would
personally,
too, if
given
I had
what
an
we saw.
Xbox.
We'll probably find out that it's terrible later, but for now it looks
For
good.
now, it looks good. One that
a
you're
chorus of ums.
moving on to the next one that you're particularly excited for.
You keep telling me I'm excited for things, but I keep not knowing.
Fable Legends.
Oh yeah, Fable Legends. Very, very wary of this one. Fable 1 was great. Fable 2 was funny. A little bit disappointing, but it wasn't like full on disappointment. It was like, oh, maybe they'll do better the third time. Third time was like a punch in my dick. It just, it's like it spit in my face almost. Like it's like, oh, the darkness.
Patooey.
It's like it tried to be too dark and then too funny at the same time. Like it missed.
Oh man,
It wasn't riding the.
It's
It
one of
wasn't
those.
standing on the line.
I
It
didn't
was like
play.
straddling
I haven't
it.
played Fable. So
Yeah,
I
Fable
can't really
1,
say.
it was kind of dark with some English humor in it, and everybody played it. I don't know how to explain to probably the viewers, but I'm going to explain to you. Everybody played it because it was funny and it was fun.
Mhm.
And when it seems like when Lionsgate caught the gist of, they actually like our humor, they
Mhm.
went a little bit more on the humor and a little bit darker for the second one. And it did good enough, It was a pretty good game. And then Fable 3 was literally you fight a force called the Darkness. I think they actually called it. It's just a bunch of shadow figures. And then the fucking the humor was so like just shoved in there. It wasn't even like clever.
It didn't
was
feel natural.
Yeah. So, and then it was it's
Yeah,
famous for
game
the
developers,
ending.
two completely different tones in one game. That doesn't work with gamers.
No,
people.
but no, it works. It's
I
just they went way
disagree.
too hard with the both of them. It's
I think
they
this
tried to
gotta
be too funny
I think-
and too dark.
yeah,
they
that's what
got
I'm
to bring
saying.
them closer together.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think
Yeah.
you gotta blend them together
I don't know.
instead of just going.
The new one
this
doesn't
way
look
and
like
that
it's trying to
way.
be funny at all, and I don't know how to take it. It looks like if any of the four of you who are gonna watch this have you ever played a Dungeon World, it might be something like that. And I
Yeah.
think that's just about all of it.
Gears.
Gears of War,
Gears
all
of
four
Four,
them.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
They are going to
Looks
be.
alright. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look great. It doesn't look like Gears of War in that you just fight hordes of bad guys. It seems you're hunters of some kind. I didn't play Gears of War 3, so I don't know what exactly you're hunting anymore.
I think I played Gears of War 3, but I don't really remember it. I think
They're not
I remember like some kind of
locusts.
princess or something that you had to defeat, and I
It was like a
think I recall
queen.
them like something happening where it was kind of like a big cliffhanger. But I mean, I thought Gears of War 4 looked pretty
Gears of
cool.
War.
Gears of 4, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought it looked cool. Also, they're remastering the original.
Yeah, they're remastering the
original
original 3, so that's gonna look.
So that's
kind of
cool too. Yeah.
Yeah, Gears of 4 doesn't look like it's anything special yet. I don't know yet.
They didn't really show. They
didn't go very deep into it.
Yeah, they
There
didn't
was some
show gameplay,
yeah.
and it was typical Gears of War gameplay. It didn't seem like they added anything
It seemed like
to the
what
gameplay.
it's not that they added anything. It's they took the bad guys and they changed them. It looks like I said before, like hunting almost. Like they're hunting down whatever these things are. They don't look locusty very much. They look like Krogans from Mass Effect mixed with dogs. That.
Yeah.
Right.
So
nothing special about that.
Yeah, my question is with Gears of War though. It seemed like to me that like the previous Gears of War games were more like actiony, were more action packed. Where it kind of seemed like that this one's kind of going with a more
of
horror.
a suspense thing.
Yeah, more
yeah.
of a suspense
Yeah,
horror
yeah, I
thing.
got
Is that a little bit different for Gears? Would you say?
Gears wasn't very big on like horror in my experience. There was a lot of action and stuff, and a lot of there's some suspense leading up to the action, but it wasn't like horror.
Was it like that though in
no,
Gears
not really.
4?
That's closer to a horror game, but it's not really a horror game. It's just kind of like creepy ambiance like before.
Mm-hmm.
But
I thought that was kind of interesting with the horror elements being added into Gears of War, which I always thought Gears of War should have done from the beginning, but they never really did.
Nah, it was a war game. That's what it's about. It's
okay.
Gears of War, not Gears of Spooky.
Okay. Well,
Gears of Horror.
Yeah, and also it's coming out holiday of 2016. So
that's forever
look
from
forward
now.
to that. Yep, yes it is. So next year.
Yep. What else do we got?
That's it.
That was all of them?
That's everything.
Yeah,
that was the Microsoft press conference. Overall,
some things are exciting, some things not so exciting. It was it's better than the other conferences for Xbox, but it's not.
If I had to give them like a rating, I'd say I give them like about an 8 out of 10. I'd say an 80.
Probably. I'd give 7.5 maybe.
7.5.
7.5. Like really.
Okay.
The EA bit really took it down a peg, and some of the indie games kind of came across a little bit pretentious. But otherwise, I mean, coming from a guy in a flannel shirt.
And in a Yankee shirt.
Anyway.
I really liked the conference. It
was enjoyable a little bit.
Yeah, it wasn't, besides EA, it was the most enjoyable Microsoft press conference that I've seen.
It was pretty good.
In some time.
Yeah, it wasn't the Bethesda one. Where it was all hype all the time.
Yeah, Bethesda was definitely better, but Microsoft, I gotta say, like, really impressed and really happy for them too. They needed a conference like this.
I think EA is starting now.
Is it? No, 3/21. We still have time. Let me check my phone just in case.
There's Battlefront on there.
3/27. This might be the pre-show.
Okay.
But yeah. So
that's it for this conference.
That's it for the Microsoft conference. We will see you. We will see you after the EA press conference. That's starting literally probably right now.
As we speak, we're not
literally
very
right now.
good at timing these things.
Well, I fucked up because
I
missed what was it, RyoCon? I think it was called. I forgot it again. No, it's right there, Recore. Because I forgot about that.
Recore looks like something that could really be something, so I'm excited for that.
So anyway, I'm Eric Casey.
I'm Andy.
And we will see you during not during, but after the EA conference, and let you guys know of our thoughts on that. So, see you guys till then.